Welcome into the Bad Fan for more thoughts on the new Disney Plus series, Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is the place to hear about your favorite content, but from a point of view that may go against the grain of a normal fan. I'm your host, Cole Carter, and we're so glad to have you tuned in with us today. To those of you who are new around here, welcome, and we'd be honored for you to subscribe today. Becoming a Bad Fan is easy and made better by clicking the bell below this video. That way you're always notified of new things like episodes like this and from the Bad Fan. So click that bell. And I don't really want to do this thing alone, so I'm always joined by my partners in crime. Today, that is Steven and Brandon. Fellas, what is good? Good to have you guys back. Steven, welcome in. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I stabbed my finger on a bread tie the other day, like the wire that like holds it together. And that really hurts. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
How do you stab yourself with a bread tie? Or like
1 minute.
plastic?
No, there's a metal wire underneath it, is what I found out. So there was some wear and tear on it apparently, and
Wow.
drew blood and everything. I'm okay though.
I just learned something new. I had no idea they had metal ties in them. Wow. Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty great. I just got a new computer. That's why things maybe look a little different. I'm also in my room this time, which is fun. Other than that, a Drake album dropped since we last talked. So I'm in good spirits there. I got to see one of my favorite bands, Lunar Vacation. They came to town this weekend, so I was able to see them as well.
Nice.
So we're rolling into a good week strong, and 4th of July is this weekend, and I'll get to see you guys. So I'm really excited for that.
I love it. Amazing. And yeah, I've been a little busy recently. Been all over. Went to the beach with you, Brandon, and our friend John. And then this past weekend, I was just in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol, and it was a non-eventful weekend in D.C., I think. No new rulings were made by a Supreme Court or anything like that. It was pretty non-eventful for my first time being there, but it was certainly a fun weekend to be up in the nation's capital. But today we're talking about Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi in particular, which means if you have not seen all 6 episodes of the series, this is your spoiler alert. This is your warning. If you've been a bad person, go ahead and just X out or pause the video, go and finish the series, and come back and listen and watch us later. That's your warning. You don't get any more because we're jumping right into our favorite parts of the series and what we loved about it. So that was your chance. Guys, what a fun ending to the series. Episode 6 was something that I think we could probably all agree on being some of the best Star Wars content that has come to fruition. So many action-packed sequences, emotional moments, just pulling at the heartstrings. And then it felt like we might be wrapping things up in a nice bow. Hard to tell. We'll dissect that a little bit. But Steven, I kind of want to jump to you first, maybe give you a chance to catch up since you missed our last episode. But what were some of the things that you loved, some favorite parts from the series that you want to kind of remember and look upon fondly of?
Yes. No, episode 1 I thought was killer. I loved particularly how like distraught and down Obi-Wan was. I loved that for a second when the Inquisitors were finding that that random Jedi, I was like, okay, like there's a Jedi first episode. Is this guy going to be cheesy? Is he going to be? And I loved it. I thought it was very cool. The Inquisitors coming into town. The Inquisitors kind of get a little bit different later, but no, the first episode was fantastic though. And I love that Obi-Wan didn't stop to help like a Jedi that was obviously knew who he was confronting him, and was like all still up in spirits somehow. It comes to Kenobi, and then Kenobi just responding like, we lost. I don't know. I loved it because it like kind of puts to the viewer's mind of like the trauma that Obi-Wan went through. And that's the first time we're really seeing him since, you're my brother, Anakin, I loved you. And you could see that like he needs some counseling. And I don't know if he's going to get it out there in that desert. So that was honestly one of my favorite moments, honestly, of the entire season. I can be a little cynical and stuff with my shows and just about perspective and stuff like that, but I love that. And I think that's really important in the series covering Kenobi and what's happened since Order 66. Also, a funnier note, all the memes about Uncle Owen saying when Kenobi comes to Owen talking about how Luke needs training, said like you trained his father. It was just savage. It was. I think it needed taking time to to marinate for me a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so messed up to say to him. But yeah, no. Overall, I won't go talking head off about those first 4 episodes, but they were great. First episode is probably my favorite. Um, but yeah, I watched the pod back. Leia's great. I enjoyed the series. The story right like that. So it's just good always to watch Star Wars, and it's hard sometimes to differentiate if I just love Star Wars or if something's actually good in front of me. So that's fun. I'm excited to get into it with y'all.
That's a fair point to make. I think, yeah, sometimes we can be blinded by love. I don't know what Padme's quote is about being blinded by love, but it's somewhere in there. But
Is it
yeah,
before or
obviously,
after Anakin cuts that pear with
No, it's
with
you're
the
going
Force?
down a path I can't follow. That's the quote.
Ah, yes.
the but anyways, episode 6 was filled to the brim with big moments. I mean, just like I mean, everyone's gonna say, the same things for the most part, but obviously, like, I particularly enjoyed the moment with Vader and his shattered mask. Like, just so much emotion packed into that one scene of just like, you know, Obi-Wan just teary-eyed, like distraught, apologizing to Anakin, and then Darth responding, be like, "I killed Anakin. Like, I'm what remains. Like, don't be sorry for what happened. Like, I chose to do this," and like that got me. But what really
Yeah.
got me more was the moment that Obi-Wan's talking to Leia on the platform in Alderaan, and she obviously wasn't even sure if she was going to see him ever again. He surprises her, so he's already kind of tender moment there. He gives Lola back to her, and then they start talking about Leia's parents, and he drops the quote saying about how Padme, her mom, not name dropping, but saying how she was wise, discerning, and kind-hearted like her mother, and passionate, fearless, and forthright like her father. And I sort of wanted to cry a little bit when that was happening. I was like, man,
Definitely.
like, because again, that was the full circle moment that Obi-Wan had experienced. Like, the progression of seeing him from this hermit that had been in the desert for 10 years, becoming disconnected from the Force by not being able to, lead and to fight and to meditate like he once had. So to see him go from a hermit in episode 1 to then when they were in the fortress Inquisitorius, whichever way it is, go from that hermit to the Jedi Knight in that episode where he has to stop the water using the Force power. And then when they're on the planet trying to escape from Vader, he becomes a general once again, rallying the people. So I really love the progression of seeing all that. And then just coming back to the tender, loving Obi-Wan that was a brother to Anakin. He then kind of got to be that, either uncle, father figure, whatever it was, to Leia, and just being able to lay out some really vulnerable emotion, talking about her parents is pretty awesome. So I love sort of what you're saying, Steven. Just like the character I think we got from Obi-Wan was awesome. The moments maybe sometimes were a little disconnected or a rush or whatever it was, but the character that Obi-Wan brought by Ewan McGregor I thought was fantastic, and the emotions that were brought really resonated with me. Brandon, what were some of
Yeah.
your thoughts? Or go ahead,
Oh,
Steve.
let me jump in super quick. That quick point about you talking about yeah, talking about Leia's mother. I even took that. I don't know if this is me maybe being too much or reading into it more, but I think when he was talking about Padme and like basically describing Leia's character there, I thought it was kind of like an ode to Carrie Fisher as well, and the character that Leia would become. And I just was thinking back. Granted, it wasn't my childhood. I'm prequels, but being a kid though, watching 4, 5, and 6 as well, like thinking of Princess Leia. And I don't know. It was kind of cool. I don't know if that's the way it was designed. Probably not. But I was him describing. I think like one Padme and like his journey. I feel like it all went to like together really well, and it wasn't like unnecessary like mushy gushy, just like tying things up in like a stupid bow. Like there was so much meaning and depth in that scene, which I really appreciated.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I think Leia, the young Leia, was written that way to sort of pull into what she would become, which is Carrie Fisher. Um, Yeah, I think Leia was a pretty bright spot for the series, to be honest. I don't know how old she actually is, but she's 10 in the show. Did a very, very good job of like, I don't know, embodying a young Leia, like what you would expect. Yeah, some scenes were a little too funny, like the chase scenes. I think we've already talked about. I think those were a little funny, but yeah, Leia was definitely a bright spot in the series.
So
Shout out to I don't know if you guys talked about this, but Alexis, my wife, pointed out to me that chase scene in that episode, that the guy chasing Leia is Red Hot Chili Peppers. Did y'all know that?
Flea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flea, yeah, I had. Anyway, sorry, woo, over my head. Anyways, that's crazy. Sucks he was part of a bad scene like that, but oh well. I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought he sort of fit the character, which was
He
funny.
did.
Like
I thought he
Yeah.
did
just
fit
kind
the
of
character
the
pretty well.
grungy, whatever. Bound. Not. I guess he is a bounty hunter, sort of in a way.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a fun fit for him. But
Mercenary almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Brandon, like, what were some of the things that really stuck out to you from the series as a whole? Like favorite moments. What stuck out?
I think Ewan McGregor was absolutely phenomenal. Thank God they were able to get him back. It just wouldn't have been the same. I don't think they would have done the show either. They might have just done a movie, to be honest. But thank God he came back for that. And literally all of the like any of the fights. We can get into that now if we want, but I'll just start with the Vader fight with Riva. Like Vader just using the Force, like just showing his like how much above her he was, and all the Inquisitors really like just so strong, so powerful, so smart. Even though in some parts of the show they didn't make him out to seem very smart. But yeah, like that fight scene was dope. They shot it so well. I don't know what you guys thought about that.
I felt like they got all the action. I guess the duels right.
Yeah,
I thought that was
definitely.
really well done between all of them. But um, obviously hard to top the one in episode 6, like between Obi-Wan and Vader. Just like the emotion, the you know duality of everything going on, and I'm. It's funny to think about what Rey talked about, and I guess episode 7 when she's training under Luke, or maybe it's either, sorry, 8, The Last Jedi, and she's like, "Oh, what? The Force is all just about lifting rocks." And like since then we've seen her lift rocks, and then now we see like Obi-Wan lifting a crap ton of rocks. So it's just like,
No, don't
You just
say
ruined it for
that.
Steve.
Gosh, lifting
I
rocks to get out of the cave in episode 7.
yeah, it's just like it's just funny. It's not a nitpicky. It's just like funny to make that connection, whether intentional or not.
These
But it was
Disney
still
writers,
dope.
they're very
It was still
creative.
dope. Yeah. But Steve, did you have a favorite like fight scene or anything like that?
Yeah. Also, I just was thinking when you're talking about that Vader fight scene earlier, how he pulls the ship out of the sky.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome. And like thinking of Kylo Ren, obviously, how he does that, and the newest trilogy was also pretty cool because he idolized Vader so much.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't
yeah, no,
Ahsoka
Yeah.
do it too? In
I
is
think
it
this
Ahsoka or is it Maul? I think Ahsoka's holding Maul's ship, isn't?
yeah,
in the
Isn't
Clone
she?
Wars
the
series.
Clone
the
Wars.
last episode of Clone Wars.
Gosh, so sick.
Which that whole episode is so good too, by the way. Just
Yeah.
if you have not
But yeah,
seen
the
Clone
Vader doing
Wars,
it was
my
so
goodness.
dope.
Yeah, it
Well,
was
no,
it was
he didn't
awesome.
only just like stop it from flying.
Brought
When
it
he got on the
back.
ground, then he just shredded it, like oof, just like ripped it open.
That was amazing.
But yeah, I mean, breaking that down, just like the pure hatred he would have had in that. Like, what would have happened if Obi-Wan was in that ship? Does he then just like choke him out there? Like, I don't know. Like, that was just that was a cool little sequence. But, um, what like for you guys, like, what was the scene that you guys were just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening?
I can go first. I think on that whole what would Vader do thing, I was thinking about they're in that little fight scene at the very end. And that fight scene was incredible. Talking about rocks, the rocks going everywhere. Obi-Wan's like return like to full on just OG, for
Yeah,
lack
like
of better
Revenge of the
words.
Sith, like
Yeah,
Obi-Wan. Yeah.
and he's fighting with some swag, and I love that Vader even acknowledges it. But I was curious about this whole series. I was like, could Vader actually kill Kenobi? Because he senses him on that planet. The first time they fight, I forget the name of it, where the fire breaks out and everything. But yeah, he has so many chances to, and I think when he like throws all those like rocks and boulders and stuff on top of them, and he turns away and walks away so quickly, like so quickly. Um, I don't know. He's like, "That's the end, my master." I feel like he can obviously sense that he's not dead. Like all of this like force sensitive stuff. Like I think he knows he's alive, and then him turning around and him being there. I think at this point, and y'all touched on this last episode of maybe because we see glimpses of Vader being harsh, killing innocent people, but then you also see kind of like when he spared. Why am I blanking on her name? The Inquisitor, the girl.
Riva.
Riva, yeah, sorry. When he spared Riva, it's like, why would he do that? You know, and so I'm kind of wondering at this point if he's still connected with Kenobi. And there's that scene at the end where, yeah, Sidious asks him to like basically like let go of attachment of Kenobi and like stop. And so I think even then, like there's this empathy or compassion, even towards Kenobi, even though it, like he still says I hate you and Obi-Wan and screams out and everything. I think it's like one of the things like he wants to get close to the fire, but he can't touch it. Like he can't actually kill Kenobi. I don't think he can. And Kenobi is the same thing. After slashing his mask and everything and could finish Vader off, he still can't do it. So I think that they're like both haunted by the hurt of the fallout of their relationship. And that's not something that I ever really thought about since until watching this is if Vader like yeah, Vader's gonna kill Kenobi. Like that's what he wants to do. Duh. And so it's to me that perspective was kind of cool just to see like no, like this is hard for Anakin Vader. Like oh, like you know he was known as Vader in Episode 3 when Sidious called him the Rise, but I even kind of see that as a second coming of Vader. After he says Kenobi doesn't mean anything to me because that's letting it go of like all the attachments from the past from Anakin. Because why was he pursuing Kenobi so rigorously? Like he wasn't really. Anyways, not to go into too much, but that was I think that was the biggest thing for me was seeing Vader's side of things of like what's going on in his head. Like I think he obviously still has like recollections obviously of Mustafar and that attachment and Kenobi and I don't know. I feel like there's still like this love hatred thing there that I don't think he could have killed Kenobi.
My it's not even like explicitly like laid out or anything, but I've loved thinking about and even some corners of the internet have sort of like just mentioned this, but just the fact of like when I think about Darth Vader, like you have Episode 4 and he's sort of just like this figure that's he's sort of like a in control commanderish figure. He's like telling his Imperial soldiers like what to do and all that, and obviously like the fight with Obi-Wan, but he's not like doing a whole lot per se. And then like Episode 5, he has his confrontation with Luke, but I think we've seen a whole lot since Disney's taken over of Vader becoming obviously like more powerful, like more BA, more like all this stuff, but I think that scene with Hayden Christensen having the split mask and just a little bit more of like that scene with Ahsoka.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too.
Realizing and feeling this hatred that fuels him. Like it's like it's the thing that I can't explain right now either, but it's just like you're seeing how twisted he is. Like when he was Anakin in Episode 3, like he wanted the power. But then now it's like he has the power and he's using it to its full extent. He's like I can't explain right now with my words. Like I'm imagining it. It's just like I love getting to see a fully like insane, lost, like villain, and it feels like
Yeah.
this is the Vader that we've been wanting for a long time. And like seeing him just one-handed fight Obi-Wan like effortlessly for the most part, and then obviously dual saber with Riva, like it's pretty sick. And so I've loved how Vader's been portrayed recently, and I hope we can get more of that, whether it's like a standalone series, movie, or um, just anything we can get with Vader. I feel like they've been hitting home runs with him recently.
I'll take 2
Yeah,
hours of Vader just killing people. Honestly,
Yeah.
just give me a movie.
Like like freaking when he
Definitely.
snapped the necks of the like civilians and like choking people. I'm just like, this is what I want. And
like
even
that's Star
like
Wars. That's
like I
Vader.
even imagine like us going Old Republic, like is it Revan, like or I think it's like Nihilius, whatever, like those ancient Sith. Like
Mhm.
I want to see those guys doing what Vader's doing now, and then I want to talk about what a hero can do to stop them. Because like, Palpatine is awesome. He's great. He's powerful, and like the whole lightning thing in Rise of Skywalker, like it's cool, but at points it sort of feels like too much. But I feel like this pure raw hatred does a lot to like make me think, dang, like this is legit. Like this is a good villain. And so I want to see more of that from Disney because I love a good villain. That's my favorite thing
Yeah.
about watching entertainment. But
Would Disney do that though? A quick thing about the mask slashing. Obi-Wan did one side and Ahsoka did the other. It was only Luke that could actually get his mask off. So it's sort of like a poetic thing there. Only his son could take his mask off fully. But yeah, that scene was so dope. And do I think that Vader would kill Obi-Wan? 100% yes. I don't know why he didn't though. Um, that
Not
is like
ability wise,
that's
yeah, like
literally the
mentally.
only thing that fuels him. And trying to find a way to bring Padme back. Um, also, you got to think like he has no one, right? He's lost everything. He's lost his limbs. He's in severe pain all the time, cannot sleep. And he's gone. I know we sort of made a joke earlier, but he's literally gone down this path that no one can follow. He is on his own. It's him and Sidious. If he turns his back against Sidious, where does he go? He probably gets killed by Sidious, right? So it's not like he has nowhere to turn except to his hate that he's being, basically controlled by Sidious. Like that is what needs to fuel you, right? So you get to see that, right? With like the lighting in that scene too, where with his mask, like the blue to the red to like the purple, like it was really cool. Even as his eyes changing, I don't know if you guys noticed that. They were like blue, like his normal eyes, and then his Sith eyes came out when he's like enraged. Like that was just so good. You can tell they put a lot of effort into that scene. That's all I'll say. But yeah, I mean, I think he definitely would kill Obi-Wan. That's why I had some qualms with the episode where he just watched him over the fire. Like I didn't understand that that writing, because literally that is what is that those are his two goals are to kill Obi-Wan for ruining his life, so he thinks, and bring Padme back. That's Anakin, that's Vader, in my opinion. So, but with that, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I was just gonna move on to talking about Obi-Wan and saying like Obi-Wan went there to kill Anakin, kill Vader, which is not like an Obi-Wan thing. So the fact that like you could even see it in the way he was fighting Vader, like very offensive. Like just that subtle change like is noticed by nerds like me and us. I think like he wasn't taking, he was like going after Vader, which was weird. It's weird to see Obi-Wan fight like that. But it was just so cool to like for when he's talking to Qui-Gon before he goes out there, like it's gonna be me or him basically. um, and so, and then the fact that he didn't do it when he had the chance too, which you think he regrets later. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? All that poetic writing.
my okay, two things. One, my favorite move of that fight scene is when Vader like stops his lightsaber, and like Obi-Wan kind of turns around and like clashes right there. That's my favorite move of that fight scene. Um, I guess my thought is if you're diving into like what Obi-Wan believes Luke is and all this different stuff like prophecy, all those things, like I wonder how if at any point he was guided by the force of like maybe knowing Anakin like or Vader has to play a part, like I don't know. Um like if he still believed he was like maybe he might believe Anakin was a chosen one still. Like, you know, he still could like turn good at some points. And what if he can't kill him? Like I don't know. That's just a thought. Um, but yeah, he might just, you know, he obviously was sad in that moment. Maybe he wasn't there to kill Vader. He was there to kill Anakin, and Anakin had, like Vader said, was already gone. So he's like, all right, well, my job here is done. That's why he didn't kill him. But yeah, I think it's less of a question of Obi-Wan. I guess more that first confrontation why Vader did it, and it might have just been like Vader didn't want to toy with him. Like he maybe wanted a proper confrontation, and the one he got was not the Obi-Wan he remembered. Like that was weak, and he was like disconnected. So maybe Vader even that moment knew like I'll see him again. I don't want to like, you know, toy with him. Like I want a proper way with my old master. That could have been a way as well. So I don't know. But those are my thoughts about it.
I'm just asking for a Natalie Portman Force Ghost. That's all I'm asking. She's coming back and doing Thor Ragnarok. She's trying to get back on the big screen, so we need to put her as a Force Ghost. Just saying, you're crazy.
I just want a Disney Plus series that's only the politics side.
Oh,
from the Clone Wars.
I don't think that'll pass.
Only politics.
Oh.
And then you sort of realize that's probably like what a lot of shows are actually about, and it would probably be pretty good, like West Wing, some Game of Thrones.
Give me a House of Cards Star Wars edition.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
If you're listening, House of Cards Star Wars. Put Kevin Spacey in CGI or a costume. No one will even know he's there. It's fine.
He can be the blue Palpatine's like second man guy. Imagine.
Have y'all seen House of Cards? This is a sidetrack.
From what I've seen from you watching.
Yeah.
Where he like breaks the third wall or fourth wall or whatever it is, looks at the camera. Can you imagine like Jar Jar Binks going like, what these I don't know. Anyways, I'm just throwing ideas out there, but let's move on. This is why I'm not the host.
I'll say last thing. The payoff at the very end, the very last scene, having Qui-Gon show up was pretty cool. Obviously, like that was teased in the beginning, like Qui-Gon, where are you? In the Revenge of the Sith, it was all set up. So to have that payoff with Qui-Gon and Liam Neeson coming back to reprise the role was pretty special. Leaving the question, will we get more from Obi-Wan? Will we see more of Qui-Gon? We will see more of Qui-Gon, The Tales of the Jedi. It's going to be an animated short series. That should be kind of fun. Little flashbacks and all that from the Clone Wars and before with different Jedi Masters like Dooku, Darth Tyrannus. We'll get to see some stuff like that. So pretty fun. I like that. I'm trying to think anything else we might be missing on the positives.
I mean,
any thoughts about like Luke and Obi-Wan finally meeting for the first time?
I'm glad he finally got to give him his toy. I thought that's what the whole show was about. No, him getting the money to buy that toy. They put a lot of effort into it, which is what's the name of the wing? What's it called? Of the fighter?
Well, there's the X-wing.
No, the one that the toy is like resembling. It's in like the GameCube
A-wing.
I don't know. I forget, Steve.
But no, that was cool. I liked them meeting. Although I don't know. I'm glad that they didn't actually show a scene of them talking. I'm glad that he was just like hello there, like of course. But it would have been weird if they talked. That's if like seeing all 6 episodes now that Luke didn't really play. I mean, obviously he played a part, but like not nearly as much as Leia. Obviously, like this whole series was about kind of Leia, really. Like accordance with those two, which is refreshing to me of like getting away from like, the Luke Skywalker story. Anyways, but yeah, I like them. I like them meeting. I like that Owen lightened up, went from roasting to hosting. But
You
yeah,
want to meet him?
yeah, you want to meet him. So that was fine. It was cool. I enjoyed it.
You want any death sticks?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, and also the parallel. I think you already mentioned it, but Obi-Wan bringing Lola back to Leia. It's the same as him being able to give the toy to Luke. That's sort of cool in the end. I like the dark parts of Star Wars, like seeing the tombs under the fortress. Sort of points to we mentioned it, but Darth Sidious or Palpatine, and stuff that he's been doing for years and years and years, trying to figure out some sort of cloning, some sort of like force juice. I have no idea what he's doing
Well,
with that stuff.
essentially the like eternal life for the Sith, right? Like
Yeah,
obviously
something.
Qui-Gon was the first one that figured out the pathway to whatever Force Ghost, enlightenment, however it is. We don't know, at least I don't, if there's like a Sith version of that. So Palpatine's like, his goal is to live forever by doing whatever system it was. So, anyways, go back to what you're saying.
Yeah, no, and then eventually getting to see Palpatine and like that. Was it the last scene or one of the last scenes? Talking to Vader. That was dope. I was hoping we'd see him at some point. I just wish it was like longer and we got more Vader. We didn't get enough, in my opinion. But I think we covered everything. That was pretty great. Also, the flashback scene of them fighting
That was pretty special.
on Coruscant, like that was just so good. And it was before Attack of the Clones, so it was like pretty early on. So that was pretty dope.
It just was so good to have Hayden Christensen and Ewan back. I mean, honestly, like I've never had any issues with Hayden. Like I've defended the acting and things from episode 2 and 3. Like I've tried my best, and I think people are coming around to the idea of those being like better than they thought originally. Even like Ewan and Press Tour just talked about how like, the generation it was made for, being us three, like we grew up with it and loved it, but the people that were older criticized, and he started talking about how people are coming around like, you know what, like those were actually like special and had great meaning to them. And so to see Hayden after being, away for 15, 20 plus years was pretty awesome. Just to have him, obviously, like behind the mask of Vader was sick, but to have a full-on appearance as Clone Wars Anakin was pretty special, I thought. So I loved that scene. And it was broken up as well, but like you can go find it on YouTube and just watch it all pieced together. Pretty sick.
Yeah, I watched the last fight between Vader and Obi-Wan like all the way through on YouTube because I just wanted to watch that. I didn't want to watch stupid Riva on Tatooine doing whatever she was doing. Just give me the fight scene all the way through, please. But yeah, it was special.
So maybe then, what were some of the qualms or like the parts of this series that you guys didn't love, that just you wish had either been eliminated or just were done a little bit differently?
I'm gonna throw a soft toss up to my boy Brandon here. Reva, speaking of which, got stabbed. I don't know if anybody saw that happen. There wasn't even any like Rey Skywalker healing juice put on her wound or anything like that. So that didn't make sense to me. I was so confused. I mean, Vader literally like sticks her like a medieval sword through the back of somebody. I didn't understand that. So no inspiration of armor or anything special. Hand down till after class, please. But no, I don't know. That was kind of weird. Because he knew apparently that she like was the youngling from the beginning. It's like flashbacks and stuff. I don't know. That didn't make sense to me. Also, kind of in general, even if Cole's Star Wars wisdom debunks that, I just don't get it. Like the point of her character, like the whole like end of her going to I don't know why she even needs to be on Tatooine. Like, I mean, I know she like goes to kill Luke and stuff, but then doesn't, and then like comes to Kenobi. He's like, I hate who I am. That was just weird to me. It kind of felt like it was someone butting in during like a prom dance of like what are you doing here? That was just kind of
Yeah.
confusing to me. I don't know if there's like I missed something. But yeah, there's like just the practical thing like getting stabbed by Darth Vader. Did Darth Vader not try to kill her? Why would he not? Does he actually have plans for her? That doesn't really fit in my mind either. So none of it kind of makes sense to me. Maybe if she went and actually tried to kill Luke and go through with it, but she couldn't. So Vader, why would Vader want her? I don't know. I was just trying to reason it, and it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense that she was able to stay alive twice, from getting stabbed, and also Vader would have never let her become an Inquisitor. Vader would have killed her. Vader would not have used her as an Inquisitor, or Palpatine wouldn't have used her as an Inquisitor. Vader would have killed her. The Vader I know, I guess, and a lot of people know, would have just killed her knowing that she was a young.
Not my Vader.
I know, I guess not. But yeah, and she didn't seem very affected by the stab, the first one or the second one. So I don't know what that is about. There's also no explanation that will make sense, I don't think. So yeah, she should have died twice.
It was in like the chest too, right? Or was it like the stomach?
Stomach, I don't know, abdomen, wherever it was.
She got stabbed twice.
Yes.
In the
as
same
a kid,
fight?
as a kid,
okay.
and then.
I'll say something in a second if you want to finish what you're talking about.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can hop in there. I'm just saying, like, she got killed. Not killed. She got stabbed twice and should have been killed in when Darth Vader comes in and is like force choking her. The Darth Vader I know would have just killed her and moved on to the next Inquisitor, telling go hunt down Kenobi. So
I thought she just played dead in that flashback vision.
So that's the thing. So
she was stabbed.
I think it's misleading from the flashback that what is shown, I think, is different than what happened. So Riva in her story just talks about how she played dead. I don't think she ever actually got stabbed as a kid. I think what they were showing is probably like her friend or whoever, the other youngling getting stabbed, and she had already started to play dead. I think it's misleading how it was shown, but I don't think she actually got stabbed as a kid. That's her story of what she said. Now, obviously, the second time, she does get stabbed, like, right in the stomach. And then what I've sort of read, and I think has become my kind of headcanon, is, like, you think about Maul, right? Maul got cut in half. How does he survive? He survives on just, like, pure hatred keeping him alive. So then why does Qui-Gon die? Qui-Gon dies because he's on the light side, whatever. He's one with the Force. He understands where he's going next. He'd already understood of, like, his purpose, and he's the one that, became the first one to become a Force ghost and all that. So he was ready to let go. His hatred, nothing that was, like, he holding on to. So someone like Riva, someone like Maul, someone even like Vader, the hatred that fuels them, it's like the pain is something that they can use to, like, keep going. That's sort of my headcanon of why it works.
I'm not putting Riva in the same camp as Darth Maul and Darth Vader. And
Never.
She's not
I can't believe that came out of your mouth.
And she's not even a Sith, and she's a youngling, and she, at that point, Kenobi convinced her to do something that was good. And so that was kind of, maybe albeit out of her own, like, selfish ambition, but, like, literally sided with Obi-Wan.
Yeah. No, she was not Sith enough. She was not evil enough. There's no way.
And Maul was in hiding for, like, forever, like, building his little trash legs or whatever. But, like, Reva, like, just, like, she did one of those little crawl things, and then she's like, all right.
I'm good.
I'm ready to fly to Tatooine. So, I don't know. But I respect, like, I get that. It makes, I don't know.
Well, she wasn't even, like, she wasn't fine, though, either, on Tatooine.
She was sprinting after Luke Skywalker and using the Force.
She was also, like, stumbling around.
Yeah, and at the home, but then she took off into the desert, caught up with Luke in a sprint. I don't know. like she was kind of like aching when like they like punched her there or whatever. I don't know. I think getting again stabbed, like didn't the saber come out the other side? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't one of those like touch ups. It wasn't like one of those like ow. It was
No.
like you stab me here and you see it out the backside of me. Like I don't know. Like even in Kenobi and Vader's fight, like Obi-Wan like smacks Vader's like control panel right there on his suit. You know what I mean? Like I'd be saying he's like he didn't go through him.
Yeah.
And like Vader seemed 700 times more injured a Sith Lord than who is machine than Riva did when she literally got stuck like a character in Lord of the Rings. I don't know. Hot take. I come down. I hear.
Yeah.
I'll get off my soapbox.
No, that's not a hot take. I think Cole's take was maybe more of a hot take. No, I think she definitely got stabbed as a youngling, as it shows in the show. And she got stabbed in that scene. She should have died one of those times. Pick, choose one. And then her character became pointless. Like they wrote a character, tied her with the Inquisitors, which is also bad because they made the Inquisitors look bad. And they didn't give her enough time for us to like actually care about her character at all. Like as far as like a writer, like not once did I care about Riva. I was like, oh, her character could be interesting, should be interesting, but it's like not once was I like, oh, that's so cool. It's like, and then they like just offed her at the end. Like it was basically like, why is she still alive and hanging around in this show? I don't know. It also doesn't make sense that now literally an Inquisitor who's one call away from Darth Vader knows where Anakin's son lives. If she thinks it's Anakin's son, which I'm sure she heard it or watched it back on the comm thing. So,
Well, even then, it never says anything about Jedi kids. She's just following whatever Obi-Wan was hiding.
Yeah, the
yeah,
Anakin
but she
son
also
thing
know
doesn't bother me
Bail.
as much.
She also know Bail Organa was in cahoots with the Jedi, though. So, I don't know. Look, she can read minds. As far as I know, she knows. Look, I don't know. And why would they be protecting this child? Just because he was
But she doesn't know it's
just because he
Vader's
was
son,
one
though.
youngling,
But she doesn't
like
know it's Vader's son or anything.
just to get at Obi-Wan to go to Tatooine to kill this random youngling who hasn't even shown Force yet. Like,
Yeah, that's what she's fueled by. I don't know. I don't think she has any clue it's
No.
Vader's son. I don't think she has any indication of that. She's just following 6 words that Bale sort of said, like Tatooine, like whatever, we need you. And
I mean,
And
that's
the
what it
sensing
shows.
that
She still had it.
and the sensing from episode 1 as well, with Owen when they had they called everybody out in the town square or whatever. So you kind of got an inkling that she felt a little bit of something there with his family or kids or something, or to look at him initially, maybe pick him out. I don't know. I'm with Cole. I don't think that she thinks it's Vader's like kids or whatever. I don't think she has that foresight. It doesn't bother me that much, but I think more so just because other stuff bothers me more. But
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I don't know. And then maybe they are setting it up. Maybe they knew there's going to be season 2. Maybe they can figure something out. I don't know. It was a little weird. That's my biggest qualm of the entire show, honestly. It was just her. A lot of it in episode 6, but just like right there, like beyond like nuanced stuff that I can get over. But yeah, so that's like my biggest, honestly, as far as the qualm part of the section that we're doing right now. That's kind of my biggest one. No porgs, that sucked. But yeah, no, that's my biggest thing. But yeah.
anything else from you, Brandon?
Yeah, the writing was so bad the whole season, to be honest. I think they got like high school kids to write it, which is so weird. Like it was just the pacing was bad all the way through. We didn't care about the Rebels characters. They didn't make us care about Riva. They were just jumping around from scenes to scenes and then slowing it back down and having a 10-minute scene. And then like it was just that's just, I think, maybe me being a little bit more nitpicky, but I noticed it like when I was watching. So if I notice it while I'm watching, like that annoys me. Like not going back and like analyzing and be like, oh, like no, like as I'm watching, getting frustrated at the show. And that shouldn't be a thing. Ice Cube's son character, he just had 21 liners the whole show. Why was he like, what, why did he exist? Like I didn't care about him at the end. I was like, Vader, just shoot a ship down. Like, come on. Like, let's get to the fight scene because like, that's really what we're here for. We're here for Vader and Obi-Wan. Again, this is a layup of a series and it should have been done much better in my opinion.
7 spin-off like character one series. Like he's gonna get his own spin-off. Riva's gonna get their own spin-off. This is the launching of
No, he'll show up in Ahsoka or Rebels or something. Oh god. Yeah, Riva's character, I wanted to care about her. But the way she was then written was awful. I'm glad they sort of left the other Inquisitors out of it because they do come back into play in Rebels. And Jedi Fallen Order, I guess the second one that we'll be getting. So, however that works out in the timeline. So, whatever. Don't like how close they cut. I don't like how close they cut it with canon as well. A lot of things were very questionable. Just leave like the main canon out of it. Don't try to touch up on stuff. Don't try to like make me do mind loops to to make things make sense. Like let it be simple math. Let me understand how things have already been written, especially by the person who created Star Wars. Disney, this is not your story. This is a story that was made before you. Let it be how it is. Make your own story. Go 1,000 years in the future or something and do something else.
Mickey Mouse can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, we're gonna start seeing like Thor and stuff in Star Wars. Who knows? We're gonna start collaborating the universes.
It's gonna turn into Fortnite. Doctor Strange is just gonna pop up.
And then I'll leave it with this. You can actually tell the scenes they really, really cared about because they looked really good. The acting was very good. The scenes were shot better. They were given literally more time. And the attention to detail was just significantly higher. That's all I'll say. I feel like a cynic, but it's, again, this is such an easy show, man. It's sort of like Top Gun 2. I haven't seen it, but everybody's raving about it. I'm sure it's a very easy movie to just go watch and be like, that was good. They did a good job. And this one is like, I don't know if it's easier, but it's like, dude, you have the two best characters, the main characters in Star Wars. You just got to go make some six cool episodes. And I think they made 3. So it's all right for Disney.
You sound like me talking about my sports teams right now. You're being a very good bad fan, and I'm loving it. I can just see the disapproval in Cole's heart right now.
My eyes are turning yellow.
So what would you finish your rating off with?
Are we rating right now? Are you not going to say?
What? Cole loved it. No qualms with the show at all.
You actually want me to answer?
Yeah.
7.5 for 8, especially because it's Disney. We've gotten a lot of worse Disney stuff, I think.
But that's good. That's pretty good.
Is it all Star Wars?
Yeah, I'm also being just very Disney? Nice. I'm being nice. That's my Disney scale.
Okay. Disney scale, I think, I will say the scenes that they paid so much attention to detail to were like nothing short of absolutely incredible. Like, I was telling Cole this off camera. I was telling Cole this. I think it is like, if you're sticking with like the Jedi, like saga and stuff like that, I think Rogue One's still the best thing that Disney's ever made. But it's a movie and stuff like it's definitely, I think personally, well, Mandalorian's really good. I don't know. It's definitely 10 leagues better than the Book of Boba Fett, in my opinion. But yeah, the scenes that they paid so much attention to detail were just absolutely like the best Star Wars I've ever seen. In like those fight scenes and stuff. So anyways, with that in mind, Disney scale, no porgs. Out of 10, I'm probably going to be a little bit more generous, and I'll give it an 8.4. It kept my attention. I had qualms with it, but I kept wanting more. I don't know if that was out of disappointment or just genuine interest in the show. But no, I really enjoyed it though. I thought it was pretty good. A Disney scale 8.4 for sure. It's some of the best Star Wars that I've ever seen in my life. Some of those scenes were incredible.
Yeah.
I think being realistic and having seen all Star Wars and seeing other things, other series and shows and stuff before, there wasn't anything in this series, especially compared to Boba Fett, where I was
Yeah.
taken out of a moment. Like, the only one it happened in was, like, maybe the little chase scene. But even then, it's just like, it's kid actor, you're doing action sequence, whatever. I can get
Red
past
Hot
that.
Chili Peppers.
Yeah, it's just like, whatever. Like, Book of Boba Fett, that last episode, I was like, are you guys paying attention? You're showing the
so
same. They
bad.
showed the same scene 3 or 4 times of people running in the street with the big droid chasing them. It's like, I feel like Taylor Twellman, like, what are we doing? Like, that's what I felt like I was having to think mentally. I'm just like, what are we doing right now?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't that bad.
And
They didn't get
so,
anything that bad,
and so
thankfully.
Kenobi was like, I never had a
God, it
moment
was
where I was
terrible.
like asking, what are we doing? Like, it felt pretty competent for the most part. You know, okay, I have a really weird critique, and people
Bring
might
it.
disagree and take it as they will.
Color scheme.
I thought that Ewan's voice acting didn't match his acting, if that makes any sense. I feel like he was overdoing his Obi-Wan, which was sort of weird.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, it's
see that. I can
fine.
see that.
It's fine, but it's like when he says in the fight scene between him and Vader's like, I'll do what I must. It's like, you don't really talk like that in Revenge of the Sith and all that. It's like, I will do what I must, is like when he says it in the first one. It's like two very different tones. And I guess he talks about in his interviews like trying to be more like Alec Guinness, but it's just like,
Yeah.
it comes off as a little weird to me, which again, it's fine. It's still you, and I still love the performance. But it's just like, it was sort of strange for me noticing that little critique.
I thought you were gonna mention the music.
That is a point as well. Yeah, the music was pretty bad. Um, you had the Obi-Wan theme from John Williams. That's about the only good thing that came out of it. You barely got any signature themes. You kind of got some of them packed in the last episode or so, but
I was
it's
gonna
like,
say, in that when Vader on Mustafar, that very last episode, wasn't
I think we got
there the
some
Vader
Imperial March.
Imperial
Yeah,
March?
but it was like little things, some Leia, some here and there, but it was just like overall
Just wasn't
very
great.
non-memorable. And again, this is why my biggest critique is that it was a show and not a movie. That's my biggest thing is with most things. It's like Marvel and Star Wars, obviously both being owned by Disney, both being well known for their movies before their TV shows. You can just tell the production value between them are worlds apart. And the biggest thing is I can tell when I'm watching something that's being filmed on the volume, like that LED screen, and when something is like produced for a movie. And the big things are for me is movement and scale. Like I talked about this, I think a little bit last episode. I don't remember, but like movements, like when you're on a speeder or like just in general, like the starship, it just feels like that takeoff scene with Vader. Like it doesn't look good to me. Like when he tears apart the one ship, the other one flies off. It's just like that looks cheesy and poor quality to me. And it's because they made it in a TV show versus a movie. Um, so like that's my biggest thing. It's like this was originally written to be a movie, and then after it wasn't even a failure. It was a choice by Disney to release Solo when they did and how they did. Their inability to market that movie well and to follow through with it well then caused them to be like, oh, actually, we can't make movies anymore. We have to do a streaming platform. And so everything was scrapped except I think the Rise of Skywalker was the last movie that we got was Rise of Skywalker. So it's just like for me, I would have rather seen an Obi-Wan movie, and then if they wanted to do more, jump into a TV series if you want. But don't introduce characters, don't introduce things until you do a movie first, because that's been your best storytelling. Well, arguably, I guess you can argue the animated stories, but your live action stuff is, I think, generally been better in the movie format and would serve service better to your quality and standard that you've set prior. Even like in 1983 with Empire Strikes Back, it's like, why does Bespin look better than a lot of these planets we're getting in the Star Wars TV shows? Like, it's just that's what I'm saying. So for me, that's where my nitpick comes in. I can mostly tolerate story stuff and like, omissions and little things here and there. Like, I can get past that pretty well. But from a production standpoint, the TV shows, I just feel like aren't doing it for me. Like, even the Mandalorian, sometimes I'm just like it's great that you're pioneering new technology, like we need that, but sometimes it shows and its inability to give me grand moments, and that's all I really want from Star Wars is big battles, space battles, hello, Star Wars, and cool action sequences. So that's the biggest gripe, I think, is with it being a show, not a movie, and I would hope that this lineup of movies come down the pipeline. Taika Waititi has been talking a decent bit about his series recently, or singular movie. I don't know if it's a series or singular. Rian Johnson is a trilogy still. They handed him a trilogy. We have 2 or 3 more standalone movies coming. So it's like, I'm ready for those because the Disney Plus series are fine, but I want to see them ramp up their movies and become blockbusters again. So overall, if I had to rate the series, Book of Boba Fett would have been like a 6.1.
Disney scale.
Yeah, 6.1 for Boba Fett.
That's fair. Even though they did give us like 2, I think, again, spoiler if you haven't watched Mando or Boba Fett, the Mando episodes, and we got Luke and Grogu's, like, that is also some of the best, like, Star Wars. I think that's better than Obi-Wan and Leia, like, in these episodes. The Luke and Grogu scenes. Sorry, keep rating, but
Obi-Wan on the Disney scale. That's a really hard question. I'm like teetering between somewhere in the 7s and 8s. I'll probably go 8.2. I would say.
I'm the highest score.
Looks like it.
I really liked it. I liked it a lot, but I still think, Rogue One is the best Disney content. Clone Wars and Bad Batch are still better than Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking animated series either when I did that.
Yeah, if I'm thinking like Clone Wars is like in the 9s when you take away the Martez sisters timeline.
What about the 3-part droid episode back to back to back of literally no humans?
That's still like, it's like in the 9. Bad Batch is like a solid 8.5. Like, I like the Bad Batch. I'm super excited for season 2. So Obi-Wan being like an 8.1, 8.2 is pretty safe landing for me. Another happy landing.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty good scores there. I mean, pretty fair.
But yeah, it's like, what are you gonna say?
I was just gonna ask Brandon's. I'm curious of Brandon's score of the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, we're going back. I think I actually liked a good amount of it. It brought in some characters that I really liked. Again, I thought it moved pretty quickly, but again, it is a TV show, so I guess just how Disney does it.
Give me a score.
With or without the Mando episodes?
Just Disney score.
Just the Boba Fett stuff, or Mando
Boba
with
Fett. Just give me the straight of the show.
With the Mando episodes, it's probably I'm
gonna drive to Columbus and hit you.
A 7-1. Without, it's probably what Cole said. It's probably what Cole said, like a 6.3, 6.2. I like the background or not background. I like getting more information about Boba Fett, I will say.
Oh yeah, I love.
They explained his character, like way more, which I wish they would have done with Obi-Wan, even though it might have felt like a copy and paste sort of deal. But yeah, I think that's a fair score. If you take the Mando episodes out, or the Mando scenes out, and Luke and Grogu, as they don't like pertain to Boba at all, they're just
That's actually a disadvantage for me. I was pissed when I saw the Mandalorian showed up. I'm giving the show a 4.2. I thought it was horrible. I thought the worst. Yeah, because it's a book about. It's a book. Yeah, I don't know.
I agree. I mean,
Sorry.
I get that. I get that point.
This is about Kenobi. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail us that much. Sorry, Cole.
No,
Sorry.
no,
Back to the
You're
host.
good.
I'm glad we made our way back to that.
Yeah, the last thing about Boba Fett, I liked his background and like Tusken Raider stuff, all that. But yeah, bringing Grogu back did upset me, and I'll leave it at that.
Me too. They were the best episodes, though. I mean, like they were so quality. It wasn't Boba Fett though.
The book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
and it's just it was too.
I mean, Mando and their timelines like wrap around each other, but
right, they do.
The Grogu thing sort of did ruin it for me as well.
Yeah, I guess the last thing we'll talk about is looking to the future, like what's happening next.
I'm upset.
Nice segue.
Do we need more Kenobi?
We don't need a season 2 of Kenobi.
Okay, Steven?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I love Ian McGregor. I'd watch him like paint a wall, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think we need a season. I love your take on movie and then show. Like, I would have loved to see this on the big screen with the production, like everything that you were saying. I was like, oh my god, yes. Like, if this was a solo movie, but like a Kenobi movie, and then sure you do but in introducing characters, it's like a part of me wants to see season 2 to be like, okay, like I'm curious about Qui-Gon and does your journey just begun? Like, I would love to see that more, but I'm also like, I'm with you. I'm ready to see more blockbusters, and I'm ready to get back to Mando. So overall, I'd have to say no.
Yeah, I'm pretty settled. I don't need to see any more Kenobi. Like, we know, Kenobi completes his training. Like, we know that happens. Like, we don't have to see Qui-Gon talk to him and walk him through it. We know Leia grows up to be a great senator and does all, like, we know Luke was protected the next couple of years. Like, we know all that stuff, so if they're going to do anything, it's going to be someone else calling for his help. And I don't know. It's like, cool.
Yeah,
but
just stop touching it.
But I feel like he's done his job and his story's pretty complete. And that's saying as someone who loves Obi-Wan, like, I think he's one of the best characters, but I'm so content with how it finished that I don't really want to see any more of it. And so for me, that gives them the freedom to go focus on other stuff. Like, go do 2 or 3 more seasons of Mando, focus on that. Give me some sick, like, wars on Mandalore, but I'm pretty much done with Obi-Wan's story, and that's perfectly okay. So if it's not Obi-Wan, do we want a Vader series? Do we want to ever see Riva again? Do we want, like, what? If it's not Obi-Wan from this series, then what could branch off of it?
I just really would love the backstory. I can't even say it with a straight face. I need the backstory on Wade, the rebel guy that died to Riva's like bomb thing. I would love a speeder. Yeah.
His friend was pissed, dude. She was angry. She was like mad they rescued them.
It's like, dude, we saw him in one scene before. How can we be mad? As the watcher, we can't be mad. Again, goes back to how the writing was bad. But no, definitely a Vader series, like going on like this intergalactic like war, like just tyranny. I'd pay $100 a month to Disney. Disney, if you're listening, to watch a Vader series like that. But like something super dark and just evil. I think that'd be so sick to see, like
that sad music scene of Order 66 in Episode 3 with all the clones like taking out the Jedi, but that in a Vader series.
Yes.
Hey, honestly,
exactly.
I've been loving how much Order 66 content we've been getting recently.
Sort of cool. I thought it was gonna overlap with Grogu. I thought that was gonna happen in the. She kept doing the flashbacks. I was like, we're about to see Grogu.
There's a meme. I don't know what movie it's from, but it's like the two people passing each other in a car, and they're both like that. It'd be like Riva and Grogu like looking at each other like something like that. That'd be funny.
Have you seen the memes on like TikTok and stuff of back in the day on Disney when like Zack and Cody would pop up on like another Disney show or something like that? It'd be like the crowd go, oh, they're just like, that'd be great.
Kids nowadays won't understand that.
Could never.
That's sort of what Spider-Man No Way Home felt like, honestly. Anyways, I hope we do get more Vader content. I sort of spieled about it already, but we need more Vader. He's been done really well. Anytime we can just see villainous people being villains, I want more of. They sort of failed on Boba Fett, making him be a villain and being like a menace. Like, honestly, I can just imagine
a 4
okay,
out of 10.
This is even my thing. Star Wars Battlefront has a cooler Boba Fett in 13 seconds or less of like trailers of him like on a jetpack, like just being cool, flying over a Starlight Pit and shooting people. Like, give me that. Like, give me Star Wars Battlefront 3. That's what I want. God, I don't even want any movies. You could give me Battlefront 3 and I'd be happy. Bring back Battlefront 2 to survive it and give me DLC. And we're off topic. I just want Star Wars, and I want good villains, and I want good heroes, and I want a lot of it. And I don't want it to be in a TV form most of the time. I don't know if we can even say any more, guys. I don't know. I feel like we can either stop here or talk for 3 more hours. Just like everything.
More Vaders. In case any of you viewers are wondering what it was like when we were all roommates together, this is why we're doing this. These are the conversations, very raw and authentic.
It's like I try so hard to defend Star Wars sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
A lot of the time. So it's like recently I've been critiquing it more than I ever have, and I hate it. I don't like it.
Yes.
It makes me upset.
They're not doing it very well.
Yeah, it's because it's bad, Cole.
Yeah. Welcome to Disney.
Yeah. Anyways, I think it's a good point to wrap it up. It's been a fun episode. It's been a fun season of Kenobi. Admittedly, like it was still good. I think we can all admit we enjoyed it. We liked watching it. It was definitely a good entry into the Star Wars universe, especially the things they introduced and some of those ties that they wrapped up nicely were great touches and additions to the canon. So moving forward, excited to see what comes down the pipeline. We'll certainly find time to talk about Star Wars moving forward as the Bad Fan. I love talking about it, even if it's just talking theories, talking about characters we want to see appear in shows. We'll have Cassian Andor coming this fall, more Bad Batch coming down the pipeline, Star Wars Fallen Order Survivor, the video game, I think is coming out in 2023.
Survivor?
Yeah, Survivor 43 for Steven, coming out September 23rd, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Yeah, lots of Star Wars stuff to talk about. Hope you guys, the viewer, enjoy watching us. Listeners on Spotify, Apple, whatever you're listening to, hope you enjoyed listening to us. Just spiel, get our hearts out on the open about how we felt about this series. And hope you guys have some theories yourselves. If you have some comments, leave them down below. Want to hear what you guys have to say. Leave a like if you like the episode. Help us out a lot. We're trying to grow the channel, be a little bit more consistent in what we're doing, and provide quality content you guys can enjoy on the Bad Fan. So that about wraps things up. Really hope you enjoyed our time together. As I said, leave a thumbs up. Find us on Twitter, Instagram. If you need help finding those things, the link tree is in the description below. And we hope to see you guys next time on the Bad Fan Podcast. We hope you have a great day. May the Force be with you. That's what we say on Star Wars episodes. And we will see you in the next one. Until then, peace out.